All right. Hello, my friends. Excuse me. Hello, my friends. My name is Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. So, what the topic I want to cover today is, will there be VIPKID classes and bookings in October? Now, on my channel, I try my best not to talk about hearsay. I try to give the facts. So, today I'm going to be mentioning some things that I've heard through the grapevine. Hi, sweetheart. And I'm going to be listing the facts that we know so far, right? So, first of all, what I've heard through the grapevine. So, one friend of mine, she sent in a ticket to say, "Hey, are we going to have any classes in October, or is it all done at the end of September?" Right? They sent back the generic, what they have to say. Nothing has been announced. We don't really know anything. So that's what they sent to the teacher, right? Whereas through the grapevine, and this is hearsay, secondhand, thirdhand information, a um, a teacher sent a screenshot of a conversation that she was having. Let me pull it up. I'm not going to show it on the screen, but this is part of her conversation. So a parent, a teacher, a VIPKid teacher was talking to a parent on WeChat, and the parent had been talking to the LP. And so the teacher said, "So they have not given an end date for classes," to which the parent responded about what the LP from VIPKid has been communicating to the parent. They said, "They tell me that it is highly likely we can't have class in October." So now that's the hearsay. I rarely share hearsay. I usually just share articles, facts, and my opinion. But I wanted to share that hearsay because I felt like someone might want to hear that that's a possibility that they're saying that to parents. So here's the facts that we know. We know that we can't work on weekends. That's been officially announced by VIPKid, and it's been happening. I mean, unless you have like the rare student that's outside of mainland China, then you can maybe have a booking on a weekend, but it's mostly no weekends. We can't teach on holidays. So for us right now, that's affecting. If you're wondering why you have no bookings on September 20th and 21st, just a reminder, that is Mid-Autumn Festival when they eat the mooncakes. So that is September 20th and the 21st. That's coming up real quick. And October 1st through the 7th is National Week or National Holiday, National Day, whatever you want to call it. But for October 1st through the 7th, there will be no classes. So a lot of people have seen a lot of cancellations the first week of October, and that leads to one thinking, "Oh no, October, we're doomed for October." I read an article, which the thing is with articles, it could be facts and hearsay, but I try to share articles that are actually talking about actual policies and things that are happening. It was talking about a large school district in Beijing that has made the rule that starting October 1st, that there will be no after school tutoring allowed at all. So for that school district in Beijing, it's not all of Beijing, but it's a large chunk. For that one school district in Beijing, they cannot have after school tutoring in October. So we don't know if others will follow the trend. We also know that there's a lot of moving and shaking, that there's a lot of policies that are being rolled out right now, and it's all not in our favor as far as continuing to teach. The government's cracking down on companies that are trying to find loopholes. And I also read an article and know for a fact that the government says by December 31st, all private schools have to be government run, and all after school tutoring, all tutoring agencies have to be non-profit. Okay. So the next thing people will want to talk about is they'll want to talk about the Book Nook program in the United States. And I've talked to a teacher, and um, she is in contact with others. She does the Book Nook program, and she's in contact with others that are doing it. And it's not taken off yet. It's been something she's had for the last over 6 months, and she's had 2 bookings and the students didn't show up. So that's one thing. The other thing is the adults, teaching adults. There are some people who have gotten that certification, and some of them have started teaching adults. Um, One teacher said what happened to her was she's got this adult lesson for teaching an adult. It's not set up for a kid at all. And she goes to the class and there's a 5-year-old sitting there. And she's like, "Where's your mom?" No parent in sight. It's a 5-year-old. And she's got an adult lesson to teach this 5-year-old. So she had to adapt the lesson very much for this 5-year-old. And she was trying to contact the firemen, the firemen is what we call our IT guys at VIPKid. She was trying to contact the firemen, like, "Hey, I've got a kid here in this adult class. What do I do?" Firemen never responded all of class. And so we see what some of us theorized at least happened in one class where you go to class and there's a kid. We know that the Chinese government's not going to allow that kind of loophole to keep going because they're cracking down on all the loopholes. So I don't know, but I believe that December 31st probably will also affect the adult classes as far as VIPKid has to be operating non for profit. I had mentioned that VIPKid put on their Facebook page that they're in Hong Kong, whereas their website still says they have offices in Beijing and in San Francisco. I've not been able to find an actual literal address as far as Google or the website. So um, it's my belief and my understanding that all along VIPKid has had their bank out of Hong Kong, and maybe they've had like an address in Hong Kong in order to do that. But they're not operating out of Hong Kong, to my knowledge. Um, because all of our paychecks have also always said HK for Hong Kong. And then I think the same is true of Magic Ears, uh, that they have always had Hong Kong in their Ding Talk title, and maybe their banks are in Hong Kong. I'm not sure. But Magic Ears has their home office in Beijing, and they've laid off almost all of their Beijing staff with Magic Ears. So with VIPKid, if you send in tickets asking about October, sometimes the employees that you're contacting, they very well could go into work one day and be blindsided as well. They maybe have heard some things through the grapevine or heard things that have happened with other companies or hear things in the news, and they wonder if and when these things will affect us, more like when. And they might not be the person that's answering your ticket. They may know information that they're not allowed to share just yet, or they also may not be in the know themselves and they could be blindsided themselves. But it is my belief that we should hope for the best. Make your pennies at at VIPKid while you're setting up your backup plan. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. Don't count on and plan for paychecks in October. If you get a little bit of paycheck in October, save it or pay your bills with it, whatever you want to do. But I just really think I'm okay. So, in communicating with a friend of mine, she's like, "Okay, well, I'm not opening any bookings in October." And that's kind of what I was doing before. And I was like, "You know what? What does it hurt? I can open a few bookings in October, see what happens. And if I work, cool." It's my belief that VIPKid will always pay us for anything we work. But at the same time, it's smart to have weekly pay so that if anything bad goes down, you have your less pay that you could lose. But I really honestly think VIPKid will always pay us for any work that we do. That being said, tomorrow's not guaranteed. um, Go Kid and Wales English both very abruptly closed. Data ABC is operating similar to how we are. Palfish is not. Palfish laid off a lot of Beijing staff and cut the pay of teachers and has not communicated that anything is going to change. So we've got different companies handling this differently, but ultimately the end is near for all of them. You may disagree with me, and that is your prerogative. You're welcome to disagree with me, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm just trying to stay informed on the facts and the laws as they come out in China. If you are pivoting to just tutoring kids in China, I would say that's not a far enough pivot because unfortunately China is also cracking down on people who want to private tutor, and they can do anything they want to. It's their country. They are a dictatorship. They can do what they want. So if they don't want us to teach their citizens, they'll make sure that happens. It's time to pivot. If you find yourself in a situation where you are behind on your bills, I wish you all the best. I hope that you're able to get caught up. Try to save money when you can, try to budget how you can, and get applying different places. If you find yourself hired by a lot of companies and just overwhelmed because you have 8 different platforms to figure out all at once, choose the ones that seem to be the best opportunities for making money now and making the most you can make, and focus in on 1 or 2 of them. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. And I hope you're doing well. Will you tell me in the comments, how are you doing with all of this? Are you getting adjusted to something new? I love it when I hear that there's teachers that, just got hired at a brick and mortar job. That's what we call classroom teachers, or is deciding to do substitute teaching, or is getting really successful with something else. Um, that's what I love to hear, because it just breaks my heart when I hear that there's somebody that is put in a very difficult financial situation because of what's going on in China. So it is my wish and my hope to keep you guys informed so that you guys can make the right decisions for your families. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Like and subscribe.